back, everyone, to another episode of the Covered 2 podcast. As always, I'm your host, Lawson Turner, and we officially have a little bit of life for the Dallas Mavericks. Not much, but they cut their 3-0 deficit to 3-1 due to their 122-84 win over Boston Celtics in Game 4. We saw the Mavs continue to do what they, have done, or what they did in Game 3. They were getting to the paint at will. They were dominating the points in the paint. The biggest thing for me that I expected Luka to do earlier on in the series was whatever big was on the floor, Luka was hunting him. Al Horford, and when Al Horford got into foul trouble early in the first half, he was hunting Xavier Tillman. He was hunting them. Whoever they were guarding comes at a screen. And they're a very heavy, they're a heavy switching team. They're gonna switch pick and rolls. That's what they do. They're not going to, hedge. They're not going to chase over. They're just going to concede the switch because they believe they have, they have a good amount of the best defenders in the NBA when it comes to perimeter and wing defenders in, Derek White, Drew Holiday, Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum. And with no Porzingis there, which I don't expect him to play tonight because tonight is Game 5 and that will be at 8:30 p.m. But let's dive into more of the notes that I have for the Dallas Mavericks Game 4 win. At halftime, it was a rout. Mavs were up 61-35, and the 35 is big due to Dallas's defense is finally looking good. It looked how it looked through the first 3 rounds of the postseason, but they held Boston to 35 points in the first half. Dallas had 34 points in the paint in the first half. So if you're almost outscoring a team just purely off of your points in the paint, that's massive. Jason Tatum played horrible once again. He's not through his, 10 finals games that he's played thus far in his NBA career. He's not a finals performer, and there's nothing wrong with it. You could be a fantastic player in the regular season, you could be a fantastic player in the playoffs, but the finals are a different beast, and he has yet to shoot over 50% in the 10 finals games that he has played. Last night, 4 for 10, 15 points, didn't touch the court in the fourth quarter because Boston waved the white flag late in, I want to say it was 139 in the third quarter, in which they waved the flag, and it was over. The Mavs dominated this game with Luka not hitting a three, which was very telling to me because we've seen Luka this whole postseason and in his postseason career be a flamethrower from three. We see him, making 3-4 threes a game in the postseason, and the fact that he went 0 for 8 and key role players are hitting shots. We saw when Dallas pulled their starters, Tim Hardaway Jr. even went off, and he hasn't made a shot since May 15th, and he rips off 4 or 5 straight threes. Now I think it depends on how many minutes Tim Hardaway Jr. is gonna get, because there's something to just seeing it go in, and he caught fire at in the garbage time in Game 4. So maybe he gets, 12, 13 minutes in Game 5 tonight, and maybe he hits 1 or 2 threes because his confidence is building. I thought Kyrie also played a really good game. I thought that he was impactful in his playmaking. Now, he didn't have, your assist numbers that, we've seen Kyrie have over these postseason, but, he still played an overall good game, in my opinion, his cleanest game of the postseason thus far, despite his fantastic Game 3. Derek Lively and I said Derek Lively, and I was going to say Derek Jones. Derek Lively and Daniel Gafford were fantastic. They did what the Mavs have asked them to do all season since acquiring Daniel Gafford. Protect the rim, play with high energy and tenacity, clean the glass. And Dallas destroyed Boston on the glass, 52-31. Dallas had 13 offensive rebounds that led to 16 second chance points. Boston had 4 offensive rebounds that led to 2 second chance points. It's telling to me because Boston's a high volume 3-point shooting team, which can lead to a lot of long offensive rebounds. That will lead to a swing pass that can generate a wide open to a very good look from three. But the fact that Dallas finally cracked 100 in the series was telling to me, because I don't think it's been the lack of defense from the Mavs, because they've held the Boston Celtics that averaged 120 points per game in the regular season to just over 100. They haven't cracked 108 all series long. And the fact that Luka and the Mavs haven't been able to crack 100 since until game 4. They had almost half their points were in the paint. Dallas out points in the painted. Points in the paint. It's kind of a goofy term. They outscored Boston via points in the paint, 60-26. If you're scoring 122 points and 60 of them are in the paint, that's just, when it comes to down there in the paint, it's hell. And when I saw Derek Lively hit his first career three in this game in the corner, I thought it was awesome. I'm like, wow. So you have a 7-foot high energy rim runner, and if he can add or develop a corner three, or just that deep baseline mid range game to at least space the floor out just a little bit more, make it respectable. You know what I mean? So that just adds more space to a Dallas Mavericks team that's already a good offensive team. Um, I thought that the turnovers early were, because Boston, they're not a really high turnover team. Dallas forced 13 of them and scored 17 points off those 13 turnovers. While Dallas only had 8 turnovers and Boston scored 9 points off those 8 turnovers. Another big thing to me, we've seen all week long, week being last week, and all of these post game and, you know, journalists and pundits on TV, whether it be ESPN, Fox Sports 1, uh, other podcasters and stuff like that. Luka he's not a good defender. His blow by percentage is through the roof, and yah and rah rah and all that. When Luka's engaged on defense, he's fantastic. Well, fantastic's a little bit of an oversay, but he's a very good defender when he wants to. We saw him hold the Celtics to 2 for 11 shooting when he was the primary defender in Game 4. So it's a little bit. I feel like through the first 3 games he was in his head a lot. I feel like the refs were in his head as well, due to I'm getting bumped and ripped and scraped and there's just no call. Now, did he get a favorable whistle in Game 4? Well, not really, because I feel like all the free throws he shot were just. I didn't think there was oh wow, they just kind of bailed a bad shot out with that. And the Mavs' biggest lead was 48 in Game 4, which I didn't think anyone would be up by damn near 50 at any point in this series. And I'm not here to say that the Mavs are going to, be the first team ever to come back from down in a 0-3 hole. But in Game 4, they showed a little bit of, okay, we have some life, like it all starts with the first game. And Luke and Kyrie said, they're gonna believe till the end, and I can't wait for the rest of the series. It's gonna be awesome, because if the Celtics don't close it out tonight, which I don't think that they will, because I think it's in their head now. Tatum hasn't had a good game. He had a good game in Game 3 where he dropped 30 and they won, but it's like it's starting to creep. Like, you can see it and you can kind of feel it. It's gonna get a little tense if they don't come out here and win this thing in 5. If Dallas goes into Boston tonight and Kyrie plays a good game, because he was horrible in the first 2 games, horrible, and he hasn't hit a 3 in Boston yet in this postseason. He was 0 for, I want to say, 8 through the first 2 games from 3. If Dallas goes into Boston and wins Game 5, there's gonna be a lot of chatter till Thursday for Game 3. I mean, 6. I don't know why I said 3. Uh, I can't. There's gonna be a lot of chatter of, well, You win 64 regular season games. You're up 3-0 in the NBA Finals. You cruise to the NBA Finals. And now, if you don't win Game 6, what do you know about Game 7s? It's a coin flip. It's a coin flip. Because anything can happen in one game. You can have, Grant Williams for the Boston Celtics, 2 years ago in the was it Western Conference semifinals against the Bucks, rips off 7 threes, and it's the Grant Williams game. You know what I mean? So anything can happen in a game 7. Boston needs to come out in game 5 and be aggressive and step on Dallas's throats early. And I don't know if they can. We have elimination game Luka. And we know what Luka is in elimination games. He has the highest points. He has the highest points per game in an elimination game in NBA history, at 34 points per game. So we know what Luka's gonna do. Can we get Kyrie to come along for the ride? Um, can Daniel Gafford, who had a double double in game 4 and was electric, can he come around for the ride? Can Dallas continue to play really good defense on these Boston Celtics? I think Dallas goes into Boston Game 5. This is a little heart over head, but that's the fun about this. We get to make our predictions. Either we're right or we're wrong. It's a 50-50. But regardless, I'll be watching game 5 tonight, and I'll record my reactions to it, and then you guys will see that probably tomorrow morning with my thoughts, takeaways, and concerns of the series thus far, and if Boston closes it out, who's the Finals MVP? Well, thank you guys so much for watching this episode of the Cover Two Podcast. Be sure to check us out on Twitter at the Cover Two Pod 26. Two in Twitter is spelled TO, or you can check the description below and check us out there. It will be linked, and it'll be a little bit easier to find. But as always, let me know your thoughts, opinions, concerns, predictions in the comments below. Does Boston close the deal tonight? Thank you so much for watching for the Cover 2 Podcast. I'm Lawson Turner, as always, and I will talk to you guys in the next one. Peace.